What's going on out there, Culture Nation? It's your boy, Conspiracy. We're back with another great episode of Culture. Sorry, turn myself down in my ears. Culture Junkies Live. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Avatar live action adaptation. We'll also be talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is going to be coming out tomorrow, actually, and a few other things. Joining me, as always, is my friends, the great Adakuji and GQ. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, definitely keep yourself down. It sounds like he's having a couple of.
Hello to everybody out there in the world.
Hey, your perfect day. Wake up, play video games,
That's
eat
what I thought.
breakfast, play video games. I can't see the rest.
Tomorrow, actually. Oh, I think Dido must be
Eat lunch,
watching the
play
playback
video
and it's
games,
coming
eat
back
dinner,
into
play
his
video
feed.
games.
So he's going to have to be a little bit mindful of that one.
Oh, yeah. Turn your feet down over
That's
there.
kind of
sir.
how I did. I had to turn the volume down. My bad.
There you go. All right.
It's all good.
I did.
All right.
I
We're
didn't
live
realize
on
I was up on
Facebook.
that.
We're live on Twitch. We're live on
Am I
Kick
lagging?
and on YouTube. So hopefully everybody can get in and we can start the discussion, right? And hope everybody had a really, really good week. This week for me was a little bit rough personally, but move on and move forward. But one of the things I did get to do is watch the live action Avatar, which came out last Thursday. And despite what a lot of people want to say about it, I think it was eagerly anticipated for a number of reasons. And most of those reasons being that it was a legendarily popular cartoon on Nickelodeon. And I think based on the trailers that we saw, a lot of people were really excited to see it. But I know, however, that it didn't come without its, hesitations. There were some things that were coming out about it. There was going to be some changes, some adjustments and stuff like that. And a lot of people have their qualms about it. I personally don't let that kind of thing stop me from watching and enjoying a program. So I watched all eight episodes over the course of 2 days. And I really enjoyed what they managed to do. So Dido, you got to watch a little bit of it. What's your feeling on it?
I like it so far of what I've seen. I had the day off today and I indulged in other things and completely forgot about Avatar. Not because I didn't want to watch it. It's just because sometimes when you got so much stuff, you just don't know where to start. And sometimes you just pick up where you left off on things. And that's what I was doing. I was watching a movie series that I started watching a few days ago. And I just kept on watching them, took some naps, had some me time, ate some food. And now I'm here. And yeah, had I watched it, started it at 6 a.m. when I got up, I probably would have finished it by now. But but it seems pretty good so far. I mean, I'm up to the point where we're at the Kiara is her name, whatever.
Katara.
They found the ice where Katara. What did I say? Kiara?
Yeah, you did. Kiara? What?
Anyway,
it's Katara, bruh. Did he
maybe it's too
said?
much
Did
rum.
he say had some meat time?
Yeah, it was meat time.
Had some meat time. Meat,
barbecue
time?
Ribs, and chicken.
Yeah, what's up to Big Preem and Wolverine Solid X in the chat?
Oh yeah, that Brazzers time too.
Oh yeah, it's Brazzers time. Brazzers send a check and a couple of phone numbers.
Wow. And a couple phone numbers.
I don't know.
But yeah, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, I'll eventually get around to watching it. Honestly, it's one of those. I was never a huge fan of Avatar, so I just need to get into something different, something new.
Okay.
Avatar is fucking dope, dude.
Oh no, I understand. I've heard a lot about it. It's just
fucking good.
Yeah. It's just one of those things my nephew used to watch all the time. And it was just kind of like,
my nephew's watching it. I ain't watching it.
And it wasn't so much that. It was just, okay, you have to understand. My nephew, when he was young, he put Iron Giant on replay constantly.
Yeah.
So it was one of those
kids kind of do shit like that.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm not about to sit here and watch Iron Giant for the 15th time in a row. I'm about to play something. You can sit here and watch it. That's cool. I'm about to go play something, game or something. I can't do that. So he liked
Yeah.
Avatar. So it's just, I would see it every now and again, but usually by the times I was seeing it, it was filler episodes. So it was just like, this wasn't interesting to me at the time.
Now,
I'll get into it.
one of the things that people were making a lot of noise about was they were making changes to the characters, and with any live action adaptation, you have to expect some adjustments because, as we know, not everything that works in animation is going to work in live action. These were more behavioral changes, though. I guess it's been a long time since I watched the animated series too. But one of the things that used to happen is that Sokka was really, I don't want to say it was misogynist, but he was more like he was sexist in his approach and how he treated Katara and said, "Oh, you can't do that. You're just a girl," that type of thing, and like some real juvenile type stuff, right? And I think they decided to trim that out, but still retain the essence of the character. So while he wasn't overtly sexist towards Katara, he was more or less protective and said he didn't want her to do stuff because it was out of, fear of her being harmed, right? Because as we know, like the Fire Nation wiped out all the airbenders. And in the 100 years since Aang had disappeared, they went on this campaign of trying to rule the world or dominate the world. And part of that was they were going around to other tribes and killing all their benders. So what Sokka would associate as water bending or something wonderful that Katara could do, he saw it as a danger to her. Like it was, I don't want you to do this because I don't want you to die. That type of thing.
Don't put a target on your back.
Exactly. Yeah, that type of thing. And whereas Katara, really wanted to do it because, she felt like she could do something special. She could do something to help her people, which I can understand that as well. Sokka, being the big brother and left in charge of the village, was only looking out for her best interests. And yeah, GQ, the older brother type, they always be like, no, don't do that because I say don't do that because it's good for you, right?
Yeah.
It's that all over again.
I mean, I don't know if all the Marvel's chiming in saying that some things were trimmed, but the show overall is decent.
Yeah.
So people have to understand you can never ever do a one-to-one translation of anything. Even Sin City, as close as that damn thing was to that graphic novel, it's still not one-to-one. There's going to be certain liberties that have to be taken for screen. There's certain things that you just will not be able to do and make them look good coming from animation or comic or whatever it is.
Right.
People, and not only that, and Dido brought this point up years ago. I've already played the game. I don't need to watch the exact same thing I played. So, I mean,
100%.
There's nothing wrong with making a couple of changes here and there, especially when it's, something that's like, okay, this is kind of minuscule. If y'all are getting bent out of shape over this, you're looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, I overall out of the episodes,
well, these people are gonna get out of shape. They try to manufacture bent out of shape.
Oh, that's the new thing anyway.
Yeah.
Fake outrage or
Yeah. And I think they were making a lot of judgments before, and we've seen this happen numerous times too, where they would make a lot of judgments before they actually get to watch the show, and then when they watch the show, after they've complained all over social media, made all these videos and made all this clickbait, TikToks and stuff like that, they find out that the show wasn't nearly as bad as they were led to believe. But they're not going to come out and actually say, "Oh well, I was wrong. I should have waited."
Nobody ever wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that. Nobody. But anyway, the show had 8 episodes.
On the internet. What these people have learned is if you negative.
You view negative. What?
Yeah,
if you're negative, you get people looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
sure.
It's like
Feels like
the
I'm
whole
lagging
old adage,
behind.
you know, good doesn't make the news. Hate and negativity seems to make the
Well,
news,
if it
right?
bleeds, it leads. We already
It,
know that.
there you go. Bleeds
That's
elites.
usually how people are. They want to deal with that gossip. They want to deal with the negative. They want to deal with, whatever.
Yeah,
And it's just like at some point, you let all of that in, that's just all you're gonna start putting back out. So
right.
I've noticed quite a few YouTubers that started off as pretty even keel, pretty, not necessarily one side or the other, but just
Hmm.
very, straightforward of like, okay, I like this or I don't like this. Now everything is an agenda. Now everything is woke. Now, it's like y'all are just a broken record. Like, go away.
I agree.
So
100% agree. Like that's all they seemingly do now is they're looking for something to be outraged about, and that's going to drive the algorithm, right? Get them a lot of views, even if they don't personally really believe that. They'll lie to their audience and make them think that it does, which I find to be very reprehensible. And all of us here at Culture Junkies will never do that. We're not going to be telling you falsehoods just so we can get a bunch of bigger views. We're going to tell
yeah,
you what we feel really all the time.
you might want to address what Fallen Marvel said because I can't speak on it because I haven't watched
Okay.
it.
That respect
Uh,
put on Kyoshi. That was going to be my main criticism. So in the episode when they went to the Kyoshi Islands, Avatar Kyoshi was she got more of a spotlight than I think she ever really got in the original series. Because whenever Dido, you may remember this, and I think some of the other viewers as well. Whenever Aang went in the Avatar state, he was never physically replaced by another Avatar. In that episode, um, in that episode, Aang was taken over. Like literally, Avatar Kyoshi came out and beat back the Fire Nation by herself and showed Aang what the Avatar state could do. So like everybody on the island saw her. They didn't see Aang. They saw her. And I thought it was awesome.
Oh, really?
Um,
That's
hmm?
different.
Yeah. And
So that's
Aang was
different.
even telling other people as the show
Definitely
goes along,
different.
and a little bit of spoiler for you, Dido, but other avatars that he meets, he's going to be begging them basically like, well, Avatar Kyoshi took over my body. Like, you can do the same thing. And some of them refused, which I thought was
Yeah,
pretty
because he
different. But
doesn't
yeah,
want to be
Avatar
Avatar.
Kyoshi got pretty cool. Cool respect.
that's cool. Did either one of y'all watch the
Yeah,
original?
I'll get
Oh, no, go
into
ahead.
it like sometime.
No,
No,
go ahead,
I
man.
said
Because it sounds like you're a
it's
little bit
gonna
behind. But go
happen.
ahead.
I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna take it slow. I am behind. God, now I'm lagging. What the fuck is going on?
Try not to watch the stream back. Like literally just be here in the room with us.
I'm not watching the stream back. I closed all that stuff.
Okay.
All right, my question for both of y'all:
Yeah.
did either of y'all watch the Shyamalan movie?
Unfortunately, I
Okay, so
paid
how does this
money.
compare to
Saw it
that?
in the theater.
I paid money day
Mhm,
one, took all three of my kids to see
mhm.
this film in the theater. I was never more upset that I paid actual money that my kids were excited to see than that piece of trash. This blew it out of the water in the first 10 minutes of the first episode.
Okay.
Because despite whatever criticisms it has, and yes, it's not perfect. I'm not saying it is perfect. I think, and Dido, you're gonna notice this, and GQ you probably will too as you watch the show whenever you get around to it, if you get around to it. That some of the younger actors, their acting was a little left to be desired, but it's to be but that's to be expected because they're really young, right? Like the young man that's playing Aang, he's 14. The young lady that's playing Katara, she's 17. Um, let's see. Zuko's character or actor is 22. Azula's is 21. they basically filled the cast with young actors, and they're not going to be polished. That doesn't mean that they don't do good in certain areas.
See,
They do.
I've never accepted that because
And I get that.
the director is the one that brings that polish. Because look at the kid in Forrest Gump. Look at the kid in The Shining. Like, you can get a good performance out of a kid. You just got to know how to motivate them to give you the performance that you want. So the young actor thing is a cop out. Because I guarantee you put any young actor in front of Spielberg, in front of Scorsese, in front of I can't say Lucas because we already saw what Lucas did with young actors and it didn't work for the prequels. Certain directors can just pull that performance out of the actor regardless of their age. So that's kind of a cop out.
Okay, you might not be willing to accept that, and I understand that. For me, I was willing to give them a little bit of a pass. I felt like some of the actors were really green. This might be their first big role, so having that many lines and basically having to act out that many scenes might have been a little bit tough for them, right?
You know who else is
But
in their
that's just
first
me.
role in a big thing?
Yeah,
the girl that played Miss Marvel. So come on, don't give me that.
True.
Don't give me that.
Okay,
It's all about who.
But we know talent isn't one to one, right?
Of course, it's not one to one. But at the same time, when it comes to directing and pulling out performances, it's all about that director making that actor do what they want and accepting only what they actually want. Not like, they're just young. They're not going to get it. That's not how it works.
All right, Dido, you good there?
Think so? Am I good? Does it
I don't know.
good?
You're delayed by like 5 seconds.
That's weird. Hey, we got Guy Jordan, also known as Simon Says, is up
if
there.
If I'm in the Matrix, the stupid thing is all wired.
Something's going on, man.
Check your CPU usage. See what's going on there.
Yeah, check that too. He's on a laptop. He's not on a PC like GQ and I. We got RAM coming out of our ears.
All right.
Anyway, I encourage everybody out there to go and watch the Netflix Avatar if you have access to Netflix.
I just got infected.
It's only episodes. Each one is 1 hour long. Really well done. I thought some Daniel Day Kim was awesome as Fire Lord Ozai. Byung-Hyun Lee, I think, who acts in The Mandalorian, that the X-Wing pilot. He's Uncle Iroh. He did a great job too. So really good stuff. I encourage you guys to go and watch it. What other things do we want to talk about?
Marvel, that's evil.
The kids were more believable than anything I've seen Gal Gadot do. Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, she did all right in Fast 4.
I don't think that was stretching her acting talents.
It wasn't. But then again, Fast ain't stretching nobody's acting.
True. Family. Anyway. Marcus 864, why she catching strays? He's right. Why she catching strays? I get it. But anyway, in any case, so obviously we know tomorrow is a big day for a lot of people. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes out. The demo has been out for like 2 or 3 weeks, I think.
How big was that demo? Wasn't it like 40 gigs or something ridiculous?
Yeah, it was crazy large demo.
Yeah, I talked to my GameStop guy, and obviously I'm getting the game when it drops, but guess what the install size is on the final game?
It's gonna be like 700 gigs.
Nah, not quite that big.
Not
160.
Quite that big? Okay. 160.
4 times the size of the demo. Telling you, man, it's gonna get to that point where it's just like, if they talking about going, digital only, internet service providers are gonna have to be like, look, we are never gonna throttle people.
So I think one thing to bring up too, talking about that, is you saw that the news about them, the 1 petabyte optical disc that they just finished. That might be the move.
1 petabyte?
Yeah, 1 petabyte. That might be the move. You can get all of Final Fantasy onto that.
Yeah, but how much is that disc gonna cost you?
True. That's true. Anyway,
a lot.
Fallen Marvel says he hasn't touched the first one yet, dude. You got to play that. Like, if there's one RPG in your life you play, it is that one.
Yeah, I agree, because I wasn't even an RPG fan, and that's one that I was like, when I saw the remake, when they saw what they did to it, I'm like, I'll play that, because they got rid of the part that I hated the most, which is the turn-based part of it.
Yeah,
that was never. I'd always hated that aspect of RPGs. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and wait my turn. So
that's true. I mean, there's some charm to that, but I know it's not for everybody. It was
here's
the JRPG aspect of it.
That's fine for strategy games.
Yes,
that's perfectly fine, because you laying out your armies, you laying out, you're doing your thing. Boom, execute your plan. That's fine. Final Fantasy, the way it even plays out, especially if you look at remake, is like you're running into buildings and fighting. Okay, I took a swing at you. Let's see what you're gonna do. Like, that makes no sense to me, dude. It's like, no.
Right.
So,
like, you plan your attack like 2 moves ahead, and you do the attack, and then it doesn't work, and you're just like,
or like when you miss on a giant tank that you're attacking. I'm like, I just threw a big ass fireball over there. You gonna tell me the fireball missed? Like, okay.
I can't get back that MP.
Yeah, that was the part of it that I always hated. The only one that I was slightly acceptable on was Knights of the Old Republic, because Knights of the Old Republic did it in such a way with that D20 system, where it kept the action flowing. It wasn't, you knew it was turn-based, but the action was still, it had a good flow to it, and it was like, okay, I can deal with this. So we'll let the chat get in there, because I know Dido was trying to get in and out, trying to figure out what's going on with his computer.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on his end.
What's the chat's take on turn-based versus action RPG style of play?
So for the most part in the chat, SD Mays brought up a good one, just like you did. He said, I hated Final Fantasy VII, the original, but I love the remake. And that's literally you, right?
No,
I watched Will play Final Fantasy VII. I never played it, but this remake, when I saw the trailer, I was like, got to have it. But by this time, the action RPG had already started taking over. We already had it with Kingdom Hearts, which kind of started it, and then you also had it with Final Fantasy 15. You also had it in Final Fantasy 16. So there's that. Marcus 864 says turn-based is only for Pokemon.
Wow. I mean, maybe. You know, I don't know. That's something I've never gotten into. The only time I've ever touched a Pokemon was in Smash Brothers. That's about it. I've never picked up any of the Pokemon games. Don't plan to do so.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see you never picking it up. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, it started on the Game Boy, and it was just like, I got a Game Boy after the fact. I didn't really want it. When the Game Boy came out, it was like, okay, I saw that, it looked all right. Tetris, everybody was, all about Tetris, Mario Land, and stuff like that. I didn't care about it as much. The Game Gear is what I ended up getting first. We all know how that went with the batteries, but the Game Gear is what I got first, because again, it was in color, it was backlit, it was like, it was, I think Shinobi was on there, and that's all I needed. So from that point, it wasn't really a matter of, oh, I'm going to get a Game Boy eventually. I want a Game Boy. I didn't need one at that point. And after a while, as we know, once the PS2, Super Nintendo, all the various systems came out, it was like I wasn't playing portable anyway. It was like we were still in school, so it's like it's like where am I going to be taking this thing?
Right, not going to be lugging this all around with me. Still remember you bringing the duffel bag with the N64 over to my house to play Star Fox and GoldenEye.
Star Fox was that deal.
Oh, it was that deal. Oh, it was so
Yes,
much
sir.
fun. So Fallen Marvel says, Final Fantasy VII Original was my gateway. I had the Squaresoft PS1 demo that with that FF7 Bushido Blade playable demos,
Mm-hmm.
which is funny because Tobal #1 was packed with Final
With a
Fantasy
Final
VII
Fantasy demo,
right?
and they didn't bring out the sequel because everybody just bought it because of the demo. Like, so
Correct.
put the next demo in the next game. What are you doing?
Yes,
Come on now.
yes.
Who cares?
Which is funny. I played Tobal #1 more
Mhm.
than I ever played the demo, more than
Yeah.
I ever played Final Fantasy VII the original.
Yeah.
But that's just
And
me.
the thing is, Tobal and Dido, if he was on here, he would tell you Tobal was a solid game. As far as the fighting system, and obviously you know this too.
Yeah.
It was there. He is. Dido.
He's
We
back.
were talking about Tobal and the Final Fantasy debacle of
The
they didn't want to release
pack-in
the
demo.
sequel because of the pack-in. So we'll sit back and let you give your thoughts and opinions on Tobal.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you talking to me?
7.
Yes, sir.
I literally counted out the delay. It's 7 seconds.
Well, I couldn't hear anybody at first, and all I heard was like that about Tobal, and I was just like, about Tobal, what the heck is going on? So I restarted the stupid ass computer. Last week, no problem. This week we're gonna have problems because why? Of course we should. I mean, maybe next week I'll move all the stuff over to my other computer, and I'll sit on my couch. I'll be more comfortable. I have my Snuggie on or something.
Don't get too comfortable now.
All right, fall asleep during the show.
Right. Don't get too comfortable.
I don't know what the hell's going on. This is getting on my nerves.
I got you. No,
I'm
real
looking
quick.
at my PBS and it's saying I'm at 4.3. What the hell is going on?
Oh, that's weird.
Fudge?
That's definitely weird.
With the packets?
Yeah, but it's essentially what we were talking about in some back and forth in the chat. We were talking about how, and you remember this, how Square did not want to release Tobal 2 over here because they were mad that everybody bought the first one based on that Final Fantasy demo being packed in. And it's like, so put in the Final Fantasy 8 demo in part 2 and just get your sales. Like, who cares?
Okay. First of all, let me before you jump in.
You would think so, but you know how a lot of these companies are.
So, Fallen Marvel trying to
I
take
am
a
using
shot
AT&T.
at
Maybe that's a problem.
I'm using AT&T fiber, so maybe you need to upgrade. Maybe you need to upgrade.
Yeah, I don't got the fiber.
Yeah, I got the
right
fiber.
now. This motherfucker said I'm doing 7,
They
12,
lie.
21,
You know they lie, right?
26, 30, 30, 35, 36. Yeah, of course they
Was
lie.
this a live
They
speed
say
test?
I'm doing 36, 39 download. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's not the download, it's the upload. What's the upload?
Yeah, the upload
is 3.
Oh,
that's a problem.
You got them single digit uploads. You are not
that's a
pushing
problem.
video.
That's a problem.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. My internet has been acting wonky for the last few weeks.
Time to make that jump, brother. Time to make that jump. Anyway, getting back to the discussion. So we were talking about Final Fantasy VII in the vein of as a video game player, because we've got all these big releases that are out. We've had Spider-Man, we had Borderlands, we've had Zelda, we've had a bunch of other games that require inordinate amounts of time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go about when you buy a game? Do you go and you complete it, or because you have so many games that you want to play? Talking to you, Dido, because that's definitely you. Do you just complete the game and just move on? Do you complete it 100%, like platinum, get everything, all the collectibles, all that other kind of stuff, or do you just beat the story mode and then put it aside and just move on? 1, 2, 3.
Well, the delay is gonna happen, but at the point in my life now is beat the game, move on. Unless the game really pulls me in, unless it says, "Hey, I got you by the neck."
What game has? Give us an example. I mean, because we already know Binding of Isaac has you essentially by the entire balls, like the entire. Like you'll never stop playing that game.
Complete the Binding of Isaac.
Huh?
But even after I complete it, yeah, because it's always different.
Right. So give me another example of a game that grabs you, that it makes you want to complete
Stupid delay.
it. I love it.
The last game I platinum that I can remember off the top of my head, it was called Guacamelee.
Oh yeah, you used to talk about that game a lot.
Guacamelee is solid.
Yeah, let's talk about that game a lot. Out there in the chat, what is it for you guys?
Yeah,
What's
I
a
got
game?
platinum on that. I don't do platinums too often.
Well, let's ask GQ. Is there, because you mostly do fighting games?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff lately is stuff that you don't quote unquote beat. You continue to play. Like, fighting games obviously are like that. The last game I guess I can say I beat was Final Fantasy Remake Part 1.
There you go.
Because I knew I was going to be getting these sequels as they come out. I think what it comes down to is all of us grew up in around this, we're all close to the same age. We grew up in a time where it's just like, when you're younger, your parents are the ones giving you the games. You had to ask for them, work,
Yes.
do chores, whatever to get them.
Uh-huh.
You had no choice but to beat that shit. Like, you ain't getting another game.
Right.
anytime
You ain't getting
soon.
like
So
4,
you may-
5,
you may
6 games a year.
Right.
You're getting
You may
maybe
as well
one or
go
two.
ahead and run Contra into the ground, run
Oh.
Mario Brothers, all of them. You'll beat them multiple times because unless your birthday was coming around or Christmas was coming around or you did really good in school, you probably weren't going to be getting a lot more games to, like I said, 4 or 5 at a time. Now that we got older, we buy them ourselves. Some people like Dido have like huge collections because he buys games in lots, or he just, buys a particular amount.
Buys them in lots.
No, he does. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you try to go back and
I have
get
most
old stuff.
definitely done that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like we're getting way more games, media, and all that stuff than we did when we were younger because now we have the disposable income to do so.
Right.
But that brings in the problem of, okay, you getting a whole bunch of stuff that you either not going to have time to play, or if you really going to sit down and just beat them, you'll be in front of that TV for a minute. So I think that's what it was. Because even when I first started buying games myself, I had a rule: I would not buy another game until I beat the ones that I already had, because otherwise it's like I'm just wasting money.
Right.
Eventually, as I started getting more money, as my jobs got better, I didn't care anymore. It was just like, I want it, I'm going to buy it. So I think that's kind of one thing that contributes to the beating the game, and then moving on to the next one type of thing.
Right. So out in the chat, right? So Wolverine Solid X says, after I beat all the Batman Arkham City Batman games, Arkham City Origins and Night, I will play them again like a year later or if I'm bored. So, okay, that's one example.
Okay.
Guy Jordan says Mass Effect for me, which I'm not sure. How do you complete Mass Effect? Like, because it's hard for you to gain all the powers, right? You're not going to get every single. Well, I guess you can replay it and get every single.
Just do it on replays.
Okay, yeah. So
do it on replays. I did that with Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic.
True.
Because remember, that's a game where you branch off based on your decisions. So it's like, okay, I played the first time, complete dark side. Hated everybody, killed everybody that got in my way, all of that. And then the next time I played it, I was like, okay, let me see if I can go through and get full blown light side, doing all the good stuff and all that. And so I've done it multiple different ways on Knights of the Republic. No, because it was just, I wanted to see what the experience is, how it was going to change.
Yeah.
Because, that's what made those games fun to me. The only one that I didn't get that was made by the same team was Jade Empire. I never purchased that game.
I played that for like a hot minute. It was nothing like Knights of the Old Republic.
Well,
it was like
there's no Star Wars license, obviously, but I mean, also just the fact that that was one of the first games that gave you that branching option, at least on the Xbox platform.
Yep. Also out in the chat, Marcus Superior Fryer says, I'm stuck constantly playing Division 2. I'm about to jump on in a few minutes. That's crazy. It's crazy. And SD May says No Mercy for years. See, now No Mercy. No Mercy is still one of the greatest wrestling games ever made. How do you complete that though? Because it's a wrestling game.
Unlock everything.
Okay.
Any game, fighting games, that's how you quote unquote complete fighting games. You unlock everything. Now, for some people, the online side of it is rank yourself all the way up to the master, grandmaster, whatever the highest rank is. In Street Fighter, the way it is now, Street Fighter 6, you can technically get everything in World Tour, but since they just released Ed yesterday, they've added him in as one of the masters you can train under. I'm sure at some point they're going to upgrade the world tour mode again and give you more stuff. So
Mhm.
that is still a goal you can chase to unlock everything in that. But as of right now, just because Ed just came out, now I have more stuff I can do on world tour, even though I had already finished everything before.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the new thing for fighting games is, yeah, just unlocking stuff. Unfortunately, with the big three fighting games right now, it's the microtransaction game too of, oh, okay, well, if you want, for example, Jin's Tekken 4 costume, I think is one of the items that's going to drop in the Tekken 8 store today. And it's just like back in the day, you would just unlock that and been able to put that on them. Now you got to buy it. So,
It's funny. So, Fall of Marvel says out of the chat, he said, "What's funny is I was interested in playing the new Baldur's Gate, and my best friend advised me against it because there's so much in it." Now, see, is there such thing as too much in a game? What do you think, Dido? You wait 5 seconds, but they don't reply.
No,
Okay. Uh,
I don't
Can
think
we
there's too
not
much
get
in the
one word
game
answers?
because
Can you elaborate?
it's all of what you want to play. I'm trying to elaborate, but I don't know what the hell is going on right now.
So grumpy. I love it. It's great.
But no, I mean, if you like to play the game, man, you can. There's two types of people, of course, and we've always said that. We're talking about it right now. You got people who's completing stuff. You don't want to complete if you got a lot of stuff in it, man. If that floats your chicken, man, just eat it all up. I mean, it's neither here nor there when it comes to like what you like about games. Like I said, the Binding of Isaac has a lot of stuff in it. I don't know. I can't remember how many characters in it. I haven't opened up all the characters yet, and every character has 9, 10, 12 like check marks to check stuff off. So, and there's over 20 characters. So yeah, it's just how much fun you have with the game, how much you want to spend time with the game. I would love to just dedicate the rest of my existence to playing these games, and I hate that it feels like I'm not. That's not gonna happen.
Grand Finals Gaming says World Tour is greater than Invasions. Is that true?
yeah, absolutely. World Tour is actually fun. I think that was one that Dido said he played on the demo. He was actually ready to buy the game based on that.
Based off that, yeah.
Yeah, that the fact that you just run around, fight anybody you want to fight, enjoy the game. Invasions it's a grind. It's a straight up grind.
Now we talked about this, I think, maybe offline at the fight night last weekend, and we were talking about what is it that Mortal Kombat could do to kind of regain, I don't know, some of its footing, because it feels like it's become that gimmicky fighter that everybody plays it for the DLC, but not for the actual game itself. What would it take?
Here's the problem. That's a good business model for NRS Studios. You bought the base game and you're waiting for us to drop really crazy gimmicky DLC, which you're going to buy as well. They're making money off of it. Mortal Kombat is still the highest selling video game out of all the fighting franchises. It has been for the last decade. It's just it appeals to casual fans. So from a business side of things, they don't really have to do much of anything. From a consumer hardcore standpoint, they've got a lot of uphill battle to go to get the goodwill back for the people that are playing the game. Well, a lot of them aren't playing the game anymore currently because of the insane grind fest. Now, people are acting like this is something new. This ain't nothing new. Mortal Kombat 11 had a grind fest to get all the stuff and unlock the gear and the palettes and all the other stuff that you can get for your characters. So that's not new. I think the microtransaction part of it is really hurting them because it's like on top of all of this grinding, you have stuff that I just cannot get through grinding. I have to buy it. And the method that all three, Tekken, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat, are doing is they're having this quote unquote premium currency that you have to use. Mortal Kombat is blood diamonds, Street Fighter is fight coins, Tekken, I don't know what they call them yet. It's in the fight shop, but Tekken coins, whatever you want to call it. They're selling them in
money.
Exactly. But at least in Street Fighter, the fight money you get in World Tour, you can use to buy stuff in game, but it's not necessarily this kind of stuff you want, the premium items, that sort of thing. You can't do that anymore. But they're selling these currencies in packs that are, for example, let's say an item costs you 100 whatever, 100 diamonds, 100 coins, whatever you want to say. They won't sell you a 100 coin pack. They'll sell you a 150 coin pack or 120 coin pack. So you always have that little bit of extra that you can't really use for anything unless you just buy another pack to get the next thing. So it's this is constant, give and take, and it sucks, and everybody's pissed about it, and rightfully so. So that's kind of what we're dealing with those games.
Well,
so
the capitalists are going to capitalize.
Oh, absolutely. And again, from a business side of things, it makes perfect sense. They're making millions. That's fine. From a consumer side, Warner Brothers is going to have to really. Mortal Kombat 9 to me was the best Mortal Kombat of the modern era. That was, bar none, the best one. So they need to find something from that era that they can pull forward and be like, hey, remember how good this was? Let's do that again. I don't think they're going to do that, though.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that I was looking forward to that I'll never get to play and probably would have completed is the now canceled EA Star Wars game, Mandalorian game that Respawn Entertainment was going to do. They canceled it.
Well, that's EA, so what do you expect?
I mean, but Respawn, who made the Jedi Fallen Order games, I was very much looking forward to them doing this first-person shooter and it being Mandalorian bounty hunter style type thing. I was very much looking forward to that. So I'm really sad to hear that that's gone. And also, what does everybody think of the layoffs at Sony? The 900 people getting laid off across a number of divisions, including Insomniac Games. Worried? Not worried? It sucks.
Okay. It does. It's
most definitely sucks, but like they're gonna find jobs. They'll open up their own studios.
That is true. It might be similar to like Image Comics, where you get a bunch of quote unquote disgruntled programmers and whatnot go and make a very interesting studio that it's a good indie studio cranking out hits. That might be what's needed in this day and age, where it's like you have How the Mighty Have Fallen. Basically, you had Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. That, yes, they weren't from the original studio that did the Arkham series that we all love, but it's the same company. And it's like you release two games that nobody jived with, and it's just like, how do you come off of having this lineage behind you of these three amazing titles from your company? Get some mentors, whatever you got to do, talk to those people, make some more of that. So maybe that's what's needed. So maybe, some of these Sony layoffs and some other layoffs that I'm sure are going to come from some other companies, maybe they need to do an Image Studios type thing and come up with this upstart, game company that just releases great content and great, games again, so to speak. I hate to.
The circle of life continues. Because if you think about it, right? The people get laid off. They create a studio. That studio then gets bought by the game company. They become disgruntled again and start it all over again. Or somebody else does.
Yeah, Wolverine Solid X is saying Helldivers is basically the Mando game.
He's wrong about that. It's Starship Troopers, the game.
No, fair.
Like, I mean, I don't know. We talked about that last week.
Well, the issue is, and with Star Wars games, is they've canceled two really good concepts already. They canceled the Mando one, and then they canceled that other one. I think it was like a Darth Maul game or something that was supposed to be. And it's just like, maybe it wasn't Darth Maul, but it was something like that, where like you were, something. I don't remember. This is probably 8 years ago now.
Oh.
But for them to keep canceling, it's like, dude, it's Star Wars. Yes, for a lot of people, the franchise is somewhat tainted. But if you release a really fun game, people don't care. They're going to play it. Especially Mando. Like Mando, regardless of what people think of the third season, Mando is still a very solid property.
Oh yeah.
So.
So mad we won't get to see Carl Weathers again as Grief Karga though. Man, that's gonna suck.
Especially since how they were moving forward with his character in the third season.
Yeah,
that would have been really, really cool. But unfortunately, I think a lot of things blew up that show in its own, behind the scenes stuff blew up that show, unfortunately. So, it is what it is on that one.
All right, so moving right along, we got a couple of movies. Well, we got one movie coming out this weekend, Dune 2. Eagerly awaiting that. Like, I can't wait to go see Dune 2. I missed going to see Demon Slayer in the theaters, and I know it came out. I think Final Fantasy VII, was it Advent Children, was in a limited theater release last weekend too.
Oh no, that I missed. Dido, you are right. The movie came out. Dune 2 came out last week. I think
was it last week?
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Yeah. Okay. You're a little bit behind.
Okay.
All right. But yeah.
Gotta go see that. Ooh.
I'm not the only one lagging.
I guess so. Wolverine Solid X is right. The WWE wrestler Virgil passed away.
Oh wow.
$1 Million Man's manager Ballet. He passed away today. Now, we had already known that he was sick for a little while. So this is not not unexpected news. But still, sad all the same.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, he was one of those guys where it's just like you always wondered if he could wrestle because it was like he was like a pretty big dude.
Yeah, he was a buffy dude.
You always saw him just kind of getting smacked
standing there just like this.
Yeah, you always saw him get smacked around by the $1 Million Man. He's like, turn around and smack this dude back, and he finally did it. It was a big deal,
Yeah, it was.
But it's again, it's unfortunate, obviously, but Father Time catches up to everybody.
It does. Takeem says they'll get LeVar Burton to play Grief Karga. I think not.
Nah, it's something about Carl Weathers. He has a certain swag to him.
Yes, he does. You can't replicate that. No, can't replicate that on the screen. Definitely miss that man. So sad that he's gone. All right, what else? Anything else we're looking forward to in the last 10 minutes before we get out of here?
Oh yeah, Marcus A64 wanted to bring that, and Simon Says I wanted to bring this up. Sting's last match.
How old is this man?
He's got to be in his 60s, I would think.
Okay, so when Ric Flair did his last match last year, he was in his 70s.
Oh, Flair's in his 70s. Yeah, okay. Flair's on.
So this isn't quite like Flair, but it's close. Because like Sting's had plenty of bouts where he's been unable to wrestle because of his injuries, right? Isn't it like he's got a fused neck or something like that?
Talking about Sting?
Yeah.
Well, Sting got it. No, go ahead, Dido.
No, go ahead.
Okay, no, what I was saying, Sting got injured by Seth Rollins.
Was it talking?
I'm sorry, I was just double checking. Sting got injured by Seth Rollins, and like basically after his second match in WWE, and then he was out for basically the rest of that time. So he had to more or less retire, and then he retires and goes to AEW, and I guess he was in a mentor type role. He wrestled a couple matches, but I guess his last match is gonna be a tag match, very similar to how Flair's last match was a tag match, because the young person that they're teamed with is going to carry the match and let them tag them in for a couple of moves, a couple of spots here and there. So,
can I tell you guys like perfectly on like 100% total honesty here? I've never been a big Sting fan. I've always kind of thought he was overrated.
And I can agree with that. I was never a huge Sting fan either. I was never a big WCW watcher. Obviously, everybody remembers Sting as the surfer guy with the face paint, the mohawk and all that. And then he comes back as the Crow.
Essentially.
It's like, okay, that whatever. Then he joins the Wolf Pack of NWO and paints his face red instead of white. Then he, it again, as an iconic guy that's been with his company just like Undertaker, fine. That's cool. Undertaker is always more interesting to me than Sting. If you want to put those two on a equal footing comparison, I always like Taker more than I like Sting as the quote unquote longtime company man from each federation.
Because to me, like, Taker was always the better wrestler. He's more athletic. He was able to, his performance in the ring was always better to me than Sting. Sting's stick I just never got with. I just for whatever reason it did. Now, like you, I was never a big WCW guy either, but Ric Flair was the dude.
Oh no, Flair transcended though. And then Marcus 64 says he's going to be at the pay-per-view apparently.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool.
Man's always traveling, gets out.
Hey,
Big ups to you, brother. You have a good time.
Gotta plan your routes.
Cody Rhodes could be Geese Howard.
Actually,
okay. Could beat Geese
in a live. If they were to redo Fatal Fury or King of Fighters, yes.
No, not beat him.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. He has the look.
Yes.
I was about to say, you talking about he could beat him? I'm like, nah, not from a power standpoint.
Raging Storm.
He has
anybody?
Look. He has the look. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played a heel before, so I mean, he could definitely do it.
I do like what they're doing with the storyline with Cody and the Bloodline and The Rock and stuff like that. They're doing a good job with that.
That's got casual people looking at wrestling again.
Yes, they're doing a real good job with that.
Yeah,
real good job.
Grab something in honor of Virgil. Hang on.
The $1 million belt. Here it comes. Anyway, so Takeem says Rhea Ripley's last match of the only wrestling match I've watched lately. Are you saying that's the only one you have watched lately? Fallen Marvel says Sting was the odd man in there with Cena and Seth Rollins. That's true. That's true. There it is, the $1 million belts. Still one of the coolest belts ever.
In honor of Virgil.
Yes.
So. I always loved that belt when I was a kid. I thought it was so cool.
Me too.
Looking.
This is still my favorite belt. Like as soon as I saw it was on sale that one time, I'm like, yeah, go ahead and take my money.
So well done. Yes.
Yeah.
We walked into SummerSlam. Immediately as we walked in the door to GQ's left was all the belts. He made a beeline over there to look at every single one, saying, "Okay, what they got? What they got?
Oh heck yeah! The only one, like I said, and I think I even mentioned this at the fight night. The only one I have left to get is the one that Roman Reigns is carrying currently. I don't want any other ones beyond that.
And you said you're gonna retire from buying belts? Is that kind of it,
yeah.
or are you just?
No, that's it. Like once I get Roman's belt, I'm kind of done because. Okay, got this one. You can't see it, but Cena's belt is over there, the spinner one, the heavyweight spinner. Behind me has got the one that The Rock introduced, and even has his side plates on it. This is the second version of it, though. Next to that is, of course, the Ric Flair, the world title. You can almost see it.
What about the rated R spinner?
I don't need another spinner. I just kind of don't. Like, and then let me see if I can. Get a little rotate.
Tilt the camera.
Tilt the camera a little bit. That's that white IC title, which is still the best looking version of the IC title to me. And then I've also got Daniel Bryan's wooden belt.
So you only get
WWE
belts, right? Because Wolverine Solid X is saying get the AEW title belt.
I don't like any of the other title belts. Like I just don't. Like if you look at them, they don't have any style to them. And to answer Dido's thing, the other different IC titles, they look exactly like this one. They're just a different color belt. So it's kind of like I'd be spending hundreds of dollars just to get a different color fake leather because the design is exactly the same.
I want to get the powder blue one.
Oh, it's still available.
What about the WCW World Championship belt?
Perhaps it should be on there. Like most of them are on there. It's just like I said,
No,
for
do you have
me,
them?
the title belts have to have some type of significance or very cool design. The only one that I'm getting that's a duplicate is Roman Reigns' belt, but that's mainly because it's the newest one. It's this version. It's basically this, but with the all gold look, and it looks really good. So that's it. Once I get that, there's no other belts that are unique enough to be like, oh, I need to have that. Even the Rock's Brahma Bull title. It's like I don't really need it. Smoking Skull
Wolverine
belt
Solid X is
looks
saying,
good.
"What is the powder blue one?"
I think that was one of the world titles. One, it might
I
have
thought
been
the
one of
powder
the.
blue one was I remember Ultimate Warrior. I think had that one.
That might have been an IC title because
Well,
Ultimate Warrior
it
had
must
a
have been an
yellow.
IC title.
He had a yellow
Yeah,
IC
IC.
title.
It was
Okay.
IC.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that one's available. So, because even Sergeant Slaughter, like I think when he was carrying the world belt, the Winged Eagle one, I think it was like purple, like light purple. It was a weird whatever. They've gone through a lot of different colors, but I don't know. And honestly, I've never liked the Winged Eagle WWF Heavyweight Championship belt. I've never liked it. So this is how it is.
A few news and notes. The sequel to Turtles TMNT Mutant Mayhem is supposed to be coming out in 2026.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't
they
release
got
an update for that though. I mean, they at least added Usagi Yojimbo and that one girl. So I thought that was kind of cool.
No. I'm talking the movie.
Oh,
not the game.
Whatever. I didn't care.
Yeah, the
about
movie,
that.
not the game.
The movie was all right. It was all right.
You thought I was talking about the game. So what one girl are you talking about? Karai?
Yeah, Karai and Usagi were added to the game.
Yeah, I knew about Usagi because my son will play it over here, but I didn't know Karai was in and out.
That's right. That's not called Mutant Mayhem. That's something else.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that's called. That's funny.
Did you guys hear about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game? The most recent one is coming to home consoles.
Oh, one of the Nickelodeon ones?
What?
Yeah, I saw it at I don't know if it was a Dave and Buster's or something a few years ago, but they're bringing that on consoles.
I didn't know they made another
based off the 20
arcade game.
Yeah, thank you, Takeem. Shredder's Revenge.
Sure did.
Yeah, I need a sequel to that.
No,
I know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about because, like you said, Dave and Buster's Round One and some of the different places have that game, and you know, it just shows that arcades are still around. They're just few and far between, at least depending on where you live. But no, that's cool that they're actually releasing that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of arcades, real quick before we go, Arcade One pulled a slick one. They released an X-Men '97 Marvel Capcom 2 that sold out almost immediately. It's like, it's like, what y'all?
I didn't know it was on pre-order yet,
dude. I went to their website, pre-order at Amazon. You click on it, unavailable. I'm like y'all need to quit with that, man.
It was the quintessential cabinet that we all wanted. Marvel vs. Superheroes, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, X-Men Children of the Atom. It had all of the Capcom versus fighters in it. It was
pretty much
the one cabinet to rule them all.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm sure here's what's going to happen. They're probably going to have a special version of it, light up marquee, blah, 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 whatever. Then they'll release the regular version of it. You know, it's like, look, you guys as a company, just take pre-orders until you stop taking pre-orders at a particular point. Don't say we're only going to sell 500 of these. Open the pre-orders up for however many people want to buy. Then let them buy them. Then make the damn things. Then ship them out. Like, what's so hard about that? It's like they act like they got to make the machines first. It's like, dude, if you know for a fact it's going to take you 6 months to manufacture, put up pre-orders for 4 weeks. You got a month of solid pre-orders. That lets you know exactly how many people are going to buy this damn thing. Make it a pre-order that you pay the full thing up front. And then boom, you know exactly how many you got to make.
Maze is right. Make it a Kickstarter. Kickstarter would be hard for you to.
I don't trust Kickstarter for that.
Okay.
Because we have somebody here on our show that has gone through the whole dealing with putting money up for Kickstarter, and then a company gets behind and behind and behind. It's like, skip all that.
Polymega. So what are you still waiting on? You're still waiting on another component, right? For your Polymega, right, D?
No, I got them all except for the light gun.
So that's what you're waiting on, the light gun.
Finally, I got them all. The light gun I'm waiting for.
And you ordered the light gun when?
Yeah.
When? When did you order it?
But the light gun's not even out yet. All the other components supposedly were out, except for the Nintendo 64 one. I don't know.
So the light gun isn't out.
I don't know
yet.
when the light gun.
So we'll say it'll be.
It's not even out yet.
4 or 6 years from now, he'll finally get it.
It'll be another thing on delay.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, people, it is 10:01. We're going to go ahead and end the show today. I want to thank you all for joining us on the various platforms that you joined us on, whether it be on Kick or Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. We look forward to entertaining you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here on Culture Junkies Live. From my friends, the great Adakuji and GQ, I'm Kenshiro. Have a good week.
Everybody have a good one. He's back just in time to
Somebody
say goodbye.
hear me say bye 5 hours.